I have three things for you in this episode. One, flyer lies. We've got some interesting data about what's going to jump, what's not going to jump. We have an interesting piece of tech and the future of that tech in golf. And we have 0 degree path. Some really cool thoughts on that. I'm here hanging out with two of my good friends, Justin Kraft and Luke Benoit, some of the best instructors here in Minnesota, where I am, and I think they're some of the best in the world. We have a great chat diving into everything. This is the GolfWell podcast. I'm your host, Cordy Walker. On this podcast, we go behind the scenes and we go in depth on everything interesting in golf performance and golf instruction. Let's get into it. Luke, I'm going to start with you because I have questions, but you did an interesting post on like flyer lies. And I was like, oh man, you actually like put some thought into this and some data. Tell us what you were looking into. I'm really curious.
Okay, so to define a flyer, it's where the spin is lost on the shot, right? And the spin is going to be lost usually when you have grass between the ball and the club. It could be moisture as well, but usually it's grass, and the type of grass will impact your flyer a lot. So what type of grass do you guys experience where you're like, oh boy, that thing really jumped? What do you
Uh,
see?
like short rough, right?
Intermediate.
Kind of
Yeah,
sitting up.
intermediate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of like if you get too thick, you might get a flyer, but you also lose a ton of ball speed at smash factor, right? So normal rough that is kind of lush and green, you're not going to get a big flyer effect, even though spin might be a little lower. So it's really the drier, wispier stuff where the club is not slowed down that tends to maintain ball speed, but then it also is going to have much less spin. And then there's the inverse of when you lower spin, what happens with the launch because you don't get the grab on the face, like the whole D plane, and basically it's not going to grab. So what's going to happen? It's going to launch much higher. But how much it launches higher depends on the club you hit. And so what I mean by that, like if you have a lob wedge, you know how a lob wedge is 60 degrees. You hit it solid off a fairway. What's your launch angle on a fairway?
30,
30,
29.
right? What happens when you get a flyer with a lob wedge and it doesn't grab? What's the launch angle?
44.
Could be 44. So you see this huge difference. The launch goes up. So when you take a lob wedge and you get a flyer, yes, you lose spin, but the ball launches so much higher, it doesn't even go farther in a lob wedge. Right?
Yep.
So now you guys following? You got
Yep,
this already,
For
right?
sure.
And then on a 4-iron, how much increase of launch angle do you get when you get a flyer on a 4? It's very marginal. It doesn't jump up the face because there's not much spin loft created. So therefore, basically you're just getting the balls coming out almost the same trajectory, but now it has no spin, and 4-irons need spin to hang in the air, so they don't carry farther. They are going to roll a lot further, but the 4-iron and lob wedge don't go much further. What does go further is the 9-iron, right in the middle of the bell curve of the flyer curve. And I think almost no golfers know this. High level
Wait.
golfers know this.
So you're saying
I think intuitively maybe they do, but
Maybe.
they can't explain it like that.
I can't explain it.
so the 4-iron and the lob wedge don't go farther on a flyer lie.
So you might see with roll, certainly a 4-iron is probably going further, but a 4-iron doesn't carry much farther for most golfers because they don't have enough height and spin to keep the ball in the air. It just sucks the spin off, and the ball tends to like go, instead of 190 in the air, it might go 185, but then it's rolling hot.
So how much farther does a 9-iron go? Or like what's the average flyer?
For me in my testing, it's 20 yards when the conditions are like big time flyer. So that's first cut, maybe slightly dry. And you would notice if you go to the first cut, like that's going to be a different shot in the morning than in the afternoon. So the drier the grass, the more you're going to see it. It's almost like if you have paper or if you have, put some sunscreen on the club, like the more you take the spin off, the more the flyer effect would be.
But you're saying like a 160-yard 9-iron is going to go 180?
Mm-hmm. I mean, you watch it in British Open, like British Open we're a little ways off, but you're going to find times where guys are like, oh, I got a little light fescue here, and the 9-iron can go 200 in the air and can roll to 240. And those are the hardest shots in golf because you know it's going to jump.
Huh.
And you got to judge it and you're guessing, right? Have you guys had shots like that where you're like, I know it's going really far. I just got to take less.
Yeah.
And usually they still go further than you think in those situations. But this doesn't apply to Miss Haverkamp who has no speed. It's totally different. They can't put enough speed on it for it to even matter. And the flyer curve moves a little bit. It's not 9-iron. It's more like 8-iron if you have less speed and less lean. But anyway.
Sure.
Were you gonna say something, Justin?
Not really. I was waiting for you to say something.
Oh, I was gonna say, so what's the common mistake that people make then? Is just
Yeah.
not adjusting for it at all? Or are they over
Yeah.
adjusting? Or like what do you guys see with students?
You can take this one, Justin.
I mean, they just have no idea. At least the students that I teach. I mean, there's some high level juniors that I think that could look at a lie and, like I said, know that it's going to jump, but they can't define. Oh yeah, because it's 160, and I usually hit my 9 iron 140. I'm going to hit my 9 iron here. They can intuitively see that lie and feel the shot and understand that, but they can't explain it. And then there are plenty of other people I teach that are maybe more intermediate golfers, weekend golfers that they have no idea what a flyer lie is. They don't even know what backspin is. So
Yep.
that doesn't they don't understand what a flyer is.
And from a course management standpoint, it's critical to really start thinking about where your miss is because the ball's going to roll a lot more and it's going to go a lot further. And this is where people make a lot of stupid double bogeys. And it's really just like implicitly looking at the line, be like, yeah, this is hot. I better watch long. And then the other thing to flyer people don't think about is side spin is real too. You're going to lose a lot of side spin. So
Mm.
if you got a flyer and you're trying to curve it around a tree, guess what? It's not curving much. And
No.
so you tend to see people when they're trying to hit the hard curve out of a flyer, they tend to not curve it very much. And those are a lot of course management mistakes as well.
Have you ever seen like when guys on long par fours into the wind in like tournaments and like the ball's on the edge of the fairway and you hear them like say, "Get in the rough, get in the rough,"
Yeah.
because they know they're going to have a 6 iron in if it's from the fairway, but they can hit an 8 iron if it's from the rough because they know for whatever reason they generally have flyers in that first cut. I've seen that with a lot of good players. They're like, "Get in the first cut."
Huh.
Well, we put this on Instagram, but a 9 iron into the wind from a first cut will go farther than a fairway lie with no wind.
Got it.
How much wind?
Like if you had maybe a 20-mile-per-hour wind, you're going to see a lot, like, well, it might not be 10, certainly 5 it does, but it's something between maybe like 5 and 20. You'll find that equilibrium where they might go the same distance. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, most of the rough that we play out of, so like Luke, Interlaken has pretty thick,
Yeah.
long rough, right? Like where I play, same.
Yeah.
There's maybe just that intermediate little strip right next to the fairway. Like this is really only applying to that like little intermediate strip if you're at a course with like thick rough, right? Or no?
Especially if it's kind of like well watered and maintained, you're not going to get a lot of flyers out of the rough in those situations. But every lie is different, and it's literally like you can look at how many blades of grass are behind there, and you can predict it a little bit. But that's the hard part. Have you guys ever had a chip where you're like near the green and you're like, I'm going to try to hit this thing high, and you open the face and it doesn't go high, it just grabs and goes low?
Yep.
You know those? And those are
It's
the
hard. Yeah.
ones. And that's why golf is hard because you're predicting what's my launch and what's my spin. And the more it grabs on the face and goes low, the more it tends to go with the path as well. And
Yep.
last, the more it goes with the face. So it's really interesting how all that stuff goes in. I think good players, a lot of them understand this intuitively, but very few amateurs have any clue on this stuff.
That's great. I got to go look at that Instagram post again and look at because it's like a normal distribution curve that you have on there,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And like go through it. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
This leads me to something that I want to get your guys' take on, which is let's take lies completely out of it because we don't need any grass for this.
Right.
I think, and I've been looking into this a lot lately, and there's a reason it's coming up, is that like have you guys ever played VR golf? Like with the Meta Quest headset
It's like
and
once. Yeah. What do you
I've
think?
seen it. I've seen clips. I've not played it. No.
Justin, I can tell you're already writing this off. He's already shaking his head like he's not interested. It's nuts. It's crazy. And you get a golf club attachment and everything. So Golf Plus is now releasing like mixed reality VR.
Cool.
So they're integrating with launch monitors so that you can wear the headset, real golf clubs and real golf balls, and you see everything that's real to your right, like if you're a right-hander, to your right, like behind the simulator. And then when you look at the golf course, everything is
Ooh.
in VR. And obviously the full thing right now is a bit tough because you got a Meta Quest on and it's
Yeah.
a little bulky. But the chipping and putting, I haven't done it yet. They sent me over a link the other day here to I need to get going with it. But like The chipping and putting is ridiculous because you can literally see
Cool.
the whole like green and everything. So
Are
I'm
you
pretty
hitting balls at a golf course when you're doing this, or are you in your living room making air swings?
no, you're hitting the idea is you're hitting
Yeah.
golf balls in your simulator and you have
Simulator.
these
Oh,
things
into a screen. Okay.
No,
into a screen.
no more need for a projector.
Oh,
As potentially, yes.
Now
Yes.
you just hit into a net. That's going to be where it will be in 10 or 20 years.
that is cool.
It is the coolest one of the coolest things of like, okay, that's like the future of I'm
And
hitting golf balls and putting, and it looks like everything's real, but I'm just in my living room and I'm still hitting a golf ball.
So I'm on Pebble Beach hole 10 and I'm teeing off, and my launch monitor, like TrackMan is integrated with this thing. I hit a ball, TrackMan tells the goggles where the ball went, and I can see the ocean and I can see the yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
I shouldn't have wrote this up.
but the part that matters is like chipping sucks, right? Like I hate
Yeah.
chipping and putting. I skip it in simulators most of the time,
Yep.
right? Because it's like,
now it's
Yep.
more fun, maybe.
and now it becomes like, oh, this is I'm actually chipping and putting indoors for us, right? Like up here, like it's pretty
Yeah,
hard
6
to
months.
practice.
I
Yeah.
can't wait to try to see if it actually feels like you could learn the skill of chipping in a simulator, because I always have to turn it into numbers in my head. I have to be like, oh, that's 12 yards. That means I got to go to the screen times 3, and I got to think about my roll. It's all math because
Yeah.
I can't see it and tell. Are you guys
No.
that way when you chip in a
For
simulator?
sure. For sure. It's like, oh yeah, this has to land about halfway up on the
Yes.
screen. It's
And I
so
got to
stupid.
start, and then I have to go to internal cues, and I got to go to 830 in my wedge system, and I just want to see it.
Yeah.
So this could
I
cover that situation.
but it's a different skill because I don't use that same thought process outside when I'm
No,
chipping.
no,
Like it's a different.
No,
we
completely
should
different.
we shouldn't need to use internal cues chipping inside, should we?
No.
Okay. Anyways, I got to get this all set up and rolling, and then I'm gonna I'll come up and we'll get you guys
Let's
into
do a
the.
virtual match from
Oh,
everybody. We
That'd
record
be
that.
fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was I think sooner than 10 to 20 years. I think simulators are gonna be way more interesting than they are right now. If that Meta Quest can get like a little bit smaller,
Yep.
that'd be sick. Anyways,
Cool.
that's what I got. That's what
Cool.
I'm interested in. Crafty, what's interesting?
I mean, I was just thinking about like if we all had those goggles on, could we like walk down the fairway together too?
I got a student who does this with his buddy. So they're good buddies and they'll play together, and they're like chatting while they're playing the course virtually from different locations. So it's gonna come. It'll be here.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah.
It's
Cool.
pretty ridiculous. I got to get you guys to try it.
I'll try it. Bring it
Nice.
up. The
Try-
question would be, will Foresight and TrackMan and all those, will they integrate with them, or are they going to have to make their own deal?
So Golf Plus, this company is starting with their goal is to integrate with as many as possible, but they're starting with I think he said like one of the Garmin R10 that like
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
everybody has, just to make it really accessible for now, and they're trying to integrate with more and
Everyone.
more. So
Send me your
Awesome.
contact. I wanna get one for the
Sweet.
kid.
okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Cool. Okay,
Crap.
Crafty.
I got a projector that died the other day. I would love to have glasses in there instead. All right, are we ready for me to bring up a topic? Is that what we're waiting on?
I've
Yeah.
transitioned to you twice so far, so
Well, I thought you were running this show, but I'll talk. I think we should talk about Zero Path. I see Luke and other people arguing about Zero Path all the time. I think why not us three talk about it?
It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, we live, the world, is it flat or is it round? Like, this is one of those things. This is about, this
is
is
it flat
face,
or is it round?
this is face angle dispersion. That's the question, right? Or distribution, not dispersion.
That is the physics. Yes, that is the physics answer. Like, what is best? So I think, Luke, because there's probably people that haven't heard your take, why don't you tell us if you like Zero Path or not, and then I want to talk about it.
Okay, I think Zero Path is totally fine, and a ton of good players are within zero. Have you guys looked at the best estimates of club path as a kind of normative statistical measure on the PGA Tour? Like, what is the average club path on the PGA Tour with a pitching wedge? What do you think it is? If you had all the TrackMan data, is it unimodal or bimodal? Are there 2 humps or 1? Are we a 1-hump camel or a 2-hump camel?
It's got to be 2, right?
You would think
so.
you would think positive 2 or 3 and negative 2 or 3.
Right.
That's what you would
Is
think.
it? Is it?
It's obviously not because you've tricked me.
Obviously not.
Everything I've looked at says no, it's unimodal. So the average path on tour with like a pitching wedge or an 8-iron is like pretty close to 0. And it's not bimodal. They don't avoid 0, you guys. They don't. Like
But
statistically,
an average doesn't matter in this case, right? Like you just got to look at the case study of one.
you do. So you're looking at the median. So are there more paths at 0 or more paths at 2?
I would think at 2, but
You would think so. I don't
Yeah.
have all that information. I might get some
it'd
hate
be
mail,
cool to have it.
but I'm going to say like there's a lot of good shots that are hit around 0, probably more at 0 than 2. Because first of all, what is the average like dispersion or distribution of path on tour? They're not within 0.1 like Scotty.
No, I think it's plus minus 1.5.
Yep.
1.2 or 1.5.
And so there's a lot of margin. And so some guys are trying to hit 1 and they're getting 0 a lot. And there's a lot of guys trying to hit -1 and they're getting 0 a lot. Overall, there's more zeros than there are ones, in my opinion, based on what I know. And I want to see if anybody can prove me wrong. I could be wrong. It's very possible.
But Justin, what you just said was, are you saying that you're saying that even if somebody's trying to hit 1, they're going to be up and down at least 1 of that?
Sorry, this is face angle presentation. So I believe
okay,
I can double check, but plus minus 1.5 is about standard deviation with a 7-iron. Yeah, for the face angle.
Path is tighter.
Yeah.
But also when you start changing targets and you're playing in a real world situation, you might aim at 2 and you hit 0 a lot. It's just truth. So, I'll let you jump on this for a second, Justin. Are we on the same team on this?
I think from a physics, ball speed, dispersion, math, yes, we are. But I want to play devil's advocate just because I think it's fun. If we're removing, like if TrackMan was never here and all this stuff, and we were just getting into like the psyche of a player, what does every freaking golf lesson start with? They go, I got a 2-way miss. It's like, yeah, so do the best 5 drivers in the world. So let's get that out. Like you're going to hit it left and right.
Try to miss both ways, right? Can we all agree? Don't try to miss one way. You will be awful.
Yes.
Do we all agree?
Yes. If you go hit half the fairways and then the other half are missed to the right, you did not maximize strokes gained driving today. Sorry. You should have had that dispersion centered over the. So anyway, knowing that the face is plus minus 1.5, that means if you're shooting for your face to be presented at 1.5 every time, sometimes you're going to get 3, sometimes you're going to get 0, right? Mm-hmm. In terms of the psyche of the player, every player that comes in for a lesson, they're like, well, I just want to know where it's going. I just want it to not curve both ways. That's what some people will tell me. And if you move the path from 0 to 4 to the right, for example, you've now created an environment where the ball is going to curve right to left, but not cross your target from 2.0 to 2.1 all the way to 3.9. So you have, what's your
drawable cross percentage go down to? Because that's what you're trying to do in this situation, right?
For sure. Yeah, your double cross percentage goes down. But I know that at some point you get the path more than 4, you start losing ball speed, and you potentially lose even face angle control, maybe. So I think what's interesting is I was watching a really high level teacher one day, and they were like, well, the reason I don't like 0 is because that provides one single face angle presentation for my golfer to hit their target. Now, again, same thing is true when you're 4 to the right. However, for them to see the shape they like without crossing their line, they have more digits available, more face angle presentations available to them. So now they've got, instead of needing 0.0, they can do 2.0, 2.1, 2.9, 3.1, 3.8, 3.9, and they can get the shot shape that they want, but the dispersion is still the same as if it was zeroed and then -1 or -1.5 or +1.5. So I just wonder if that's interesting for like the psyche of a player. Mm-hmm. If you're a really high level player and you're like, I'm only hitting draws, that's what I do, that's what I'm good at. Would it be beneficial to have your path over there at 4 and have more available face angle presentations for you to get the shape without crossing your center line? Maybe. And what does the psyche of the player do for how they approach their course management, their target selection, all these other things? Like, I don't know. I just think it's interesting.
I think can I give you guys 2 kind of, these are kind of wild. I don't know if anybody's thought about these. The way I think about them, I don't want to throw them at you. For one, and when you go back 50 years ago, how many players naturally found 0 as a path just based on self-organization of the game? It's really rare. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
So 0
Seems
is
like
not a
it.
natural sort of thing. So what they do is they match up their face to their path. And the good players get bucketed and separated because, oh, they actually curve it the right amount. That's why they're good. And then the bad players have no face control. And back before we really all understood path and face, they did not eliminate one side of the golf course very well. Therefore, they curved it both ways. So this whole kind of grandfather tale comes back to the old dispersion patterns of good players seeing the same curve. That's what we saw. Now, if every one of those players had zeroed it 50, 80 years ago, we might not be having this discussion because the science would actually lead towards less groupthink away from this model. Right now, the model is you should know which way it's curving. Everybody thinks this way. So I don't
Right.
actually disagree with you. I'm just saying there is something
But
to
you're
be.
saying maybe that's not the right thought process
I'm saying it's,
for a
and
player.
like I'm a teacher where I think 0 is really good. I prefer a little more of a fade on a driver because I think it's easier to control. Like the physics, the face rotation is less on a fade. And when somebody's struggling with the driver, I actually think, yeah, it's probably hit more fades. You spin it more, it doesn't go as far, you're going to hit more fairways. So am I now one of those guys that like is trying to avoid 0? Only because the fade is easier.
Okay, I was referencing. I found this book in my in my
Plug.
desk here, and
Nice.
I was just referencing it because I do that a lot, just because there's so much good stuff in here. I don't know if you guys have heard of this
What's your
book.
favorite part? What's your
What's it
favorite?
called? Is it on Amazon?
It's on Amazon. Is it by Cordy Walker? Huh, interesting.
Oh.
Okay, so I had talked to Sasha McKenzie because he did this workshop at the World Scientific Congress of Golf on like what is good ball striking. And like he was defining it as your ability to minimize face to path variability.
Yeah,
So face angle, right? Same word. Is it?
totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yes.
So like if you can, and I loved that idea, right? Because I don't think we do a good job of defining words, and like good ball striking is definitely a word that's not well defined.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I love that idea of like, okay, if we can kind of define it as that of like, if I have you hit shots and I look at your face path variability, like with the caveat, like you have to be hitting the same type of shot, right? Like it can't be to
Yeah.
try and hit
Yeah.
different shots. Then like that's how good of a ball striker you are, which is at the same time is difficult to me to understand when we're hitting different types of ball flights and stuff.
Well, it's just
Mm,
trying to hit the path or the face you intend. It's being able
Right,
to hit
right.
the face you need to match.
What do you guys think about this? This is like a little application of that, of like testing yourself with that, of like getting as a golfer, getting in there and saying, I'm hitting, I'm going to try to hit this type of shot and see how tight I can get my face to path variability. And then I'm going to change and I'm going to try to hit a different type of shot and do
Yeah.
that.
I test it all the time. Have I told you about the lazy Susan?
You're trying to like change aim, right? And then
Yeah. So like one of those myths a little bit is like hit the same shot every time, right? I think everybody should do this. Go hit 20 shots, get on a launch monitor and see what your dispersion looks like, right?
Mhm.
So you're going to have a little long, little short. That's more smash factor related. And then you have face angle left and right. Is it better when you hit it straight or when you know which way it's curving? Again, like that's kind of our big debate. I don't think on a wedge or a 7-iron it makes much difference necessarily. I think where it's interesting is when you start switching targets a lot and you start changing aim. That's when face variability goes up a lot, which is why I put the launch monitor on this. I move people around, and you see a lot of different patterns, a lot more dispersion.
You're saying your ability to manage
Yes.
that face angle, you get way
Yes.
worse at it when you
Yes.
have
Do
to
you
move.
think their baseline shifts a lot, or do you think their intention, their environment, everything changes? So, like, if I'm in TrackMan and I can hit 20 shots with a path variability, every path is between 2.5 and 4,
Mhm.
and then you put me on that thing, am I changing because I don't know how to aim, or am I changing because I see the water right and my path intuitively shifts to the left?
Well, I think so. Again, going into the whole idea of you have that standard setup every time, but you haven't trained in an environment that forces you to learn how to aim, and you don't
Yes.
know how to deal with the environment. Your path in your face will be much harder to control.
So it would be interesting to know on like hole 18 at Pebble or Sawgrass, hard dog leg lefts around the water. Does the it would be you'd never be able to test this, but like versus your intention. So like if Scotty's always trying to get -3, does the
Mm.
path shift more to the right just subconsciously because everyone's trying to push the ball further away from the water? If
I could
if
almost
Zach
try
Johnson's
to
always
shift.
+5, is he then +8?
Yep.
So
And
like if we're on the
unless you
range and you got the lazy Susan out and you're like, hey, hit it at, and I'm 2 degrees inside out every time, and you say, hey, hit it at this flag, but there's water left. If you hit it left, you got to do jumping jacks down the driving range. And I don't want to hit it left. Would my path shift to the right?
I don't know if the path would shift for everybody. I think that's kind of personal. But you would definitely
Yeah.
see patterns evolve based on what they're used to aiming at and how they find a way to do it. Like as a kid, if I knew I had trouble left, I would push it right and hit a draw. Did you do that too?
Yeah.
Like I more inside out. I would,
Yes.
and I think a lot of
Absolutely.
pitchers do that. You know how when I mean, obviously we have these affordances. When somebody knows they're slicing it, what do? They get more over the top, right?
I
Yes.
would for me, when there's trouble left, I would just block it right, and it would just keep going right and then
Yeah,
farther right. It would
had
never
plenty
draw
of
back.
those.
So
I've had
still
plenty of
searching
those
for
in my
that.
life. Yeah. So
That's interesting. It's just interesting to know if the aim changes more or if the pattern changes more.
so here's my take on it. People are spending a lot of time on swing mechanics, and I believe in doing them in different bins. Like if you're doing mechanics, go do them. But there's some people that are chasing trying to work on mechanics is the holy grail to get better. When if you
Yeah.
could just eliminate your transfer bias and actually be able to change your pattern. So for me, when I do the lazy Susan test and I'm switching targets, I'm about 20% worse in my dispersion. I am not as tight with it. And so that's my margin to get better more than mechanics and grooving my
Yeah.
block stock, you know?
And that's why you got people that are like, I hit it so good on the range, and then I get to hole 4 and I blocked 5 iron in the trees.
Yeah, they're just not training in the right zone, in my opinion. But
Well, okay. Here's a question for you, Luke. Like I'm a I try to play golf. It's a strange idea, and I have limited time to practice and play.
Yeah.
So like I have time tomorrow morning, and I have to decide: do I just go play 9 holes, or do I go through like some practice like that and like skill based practice where I'm working on performance and stuff like that?
Mhm.
What are you telling your students of like, yep, go get on the course like as often as you can. If you can get out there, go do it out there. Or are you saying like, no, well, let's work on some of the skill based stuff. Like, how are you advising someone?
it really depends on the person. And like in my opinion, you should be working on mechanics a little bit year round. You should be making sure you can calibrate and eliminate biases. For the average player, eliminating a bias is the easiest way to get better. Like Justin and I give so many lessons where somebody keeps topping it, and we say, "Hey, why don't you try to hit the ground a little bit?" Or and they're hitting it a mile right, and we're like, "Hey, let's get the club face close." Like those are the easy lessons we do all day long. Eliminating your bias should be the fastest way to get better. Are you agree, Justin?
Yes, I do.
What do you mean a
I'm
bias?
hitting the
What's a
toe,
bias?
Luke.
Yeah. I mean, and I hate to bury a student, but like I've had some really good players that are like +2s, and they come in and they're like, it's feeling really crummy today. And I'm like, have you noticed you hit 6 in a row off the heel? And like, no. Do you think maybe you've been doing that for 3 months? Maybe. They don't know even where they're hitting it on the face. And you teach them how to hit the toe, and you're suddenly giving them 15 yards. Like those are the easy things. Know where you're hitting in the face. Make sure you can do some impact opposites, close the face as needed. Those are your fastest ways. And once you cover that, then you can have your decision. Am I trying to improve mechanics, or am I trying to choose like transfer training, in my opinion? Do you
Probably
agree, Jeff?
depends where you're at. Yeah,
Yeah,
probably depends where you're at in your season too, for
totally.
sure. Like if Corey, if it was October and you had no events coming up, like you could go play if your heart really desired that, but maybe you'd be better off working on your golf swing. So
Hmm.
maybe you'd get parallax out and you'd work, with some video on. But if you have it's June 4th and you've got the Minnesota State Open coming up, maybe you do a couple minutes of technique and then go play 9 holes and see if you can break par. And if you don't, you got to leave $1 in the hole on the final hole. That'd be pretty embarrassing. You don't want to do that. So
I
try
like
to go
it.
shoot under par, something like that.
How much do you practice on the course, Cordy? Because I believe practice on the course is one of the most low hanging fruits out there for a lot of golfers.
I don't have a good structure for it.
Yeah.
What's a good structure for practicing on the course?
I love taking 3 or 4 balls and doing like a best shot or a worst shot. And you start understanding, well, if it's a worse shot, I better aim at the middle of the green more, and I better have a little more like changing mindsets with the affordances you're given in the game you design for yourself is really good. So if it's a 4-shot, you know how like sometimes you get that green light pin, and if you have 4 balls, you should be aiming right at it. Let's have that mentality with every single shot you hit. Even if you're not aiming at the pin, like try to hit a great shot. So experiencing those different mindsets I find is very helpful.
Interesting. What do you think about? I always used to do the fade ball versus draw ball, where I'd play. You play 2 balls, and
Oh
you have
yeah.
the two go
Fun.
against each other.
Which one won for you?
It was even though I remember doing it a lot this one season, I was hitting cuts like that was my shot, but the draw
Yeah.
ball would always win. So I was
Really?
like, damn it.
That's fun.
That's awesome.
Fun. Yeah.
I think yeah, go out at dusk or really early in the morning, and like I have students that are like, just feel like I can't do my swing change on the course. And it's just because they're not in their comfortable, cozy little backyard net. So
Yeah.
like if you can go out and play 9 holes with 3 balls and throw your video up and be like, all right, forget it. I'm gonna try to hit this ball on the green, but I'm gonna make that backswing look exactly like I wanted, or I'm gonna make sure I rotate through the ball more and just do it in a different environment. I think they start to trust it more. But yeah, on course practice is great. That's my golf course growing up. My 9-hole course had 3 rounds a week played on it. So, and the other 30 were me. So I practiced and played at the same time.
Yeah, it's great. Did you take a cart or were you
I
walking?
carded all day long.
Yeah, I could. For me, it was 48 minutes at Faribault Country Club. I would finish 18 and 48, and so it was awesome. Like just cruise around, and that's when I felt like I got the best. A lot of volume on a cart, hitting a lot of shots.
That's
I was
exactly right.
thinking about that today. I snuck out and did some putting and chipping this morning. And Luke, we've talked about this before, but like the and I was doing some putting like testing. So I was going through a full routine. I was working on my leg putting, and I was like reading the putt, lining it up, doing the whole, like the whole show. And part of me is like, oh, maybe I just need to hit a lot of these and like just get more reps under my belt. And I was hearing your voice say that in my head as I was thinking that. Like, are you still in that camp of like, hey, maybe we should just hit a lot of leg putts if we're really sucking at distance control putting instead of
I
like full routine?
I don't think anybody's done the research, but I believe at some point you're going to find that much more volume practice is very, very good for short game and putting. Like practice faster, but switch targets fast. Ping pong, play ping pong. And so there's this law and motor learning about like, yes, you are less precise. I know you're not going to be as good when you hit a ball every 12 seconds as if you hit it every 40 seconds. I know that. But you're going to get a lot more volume in. So you get more trials and you are going to learn faster. So is our point learning or is it just to hit good shots?
Yeah, but it's not even close to representative to what I
No.
would do
So
playing the game,
So
right?
what I'm saying would be about 2/3 of your practice for short game or putting can be fairly quick. 1/3 should be more full routine, and you should try to get them to feel like the last 8 seconds are similar. So one way you get a lot of volume, one way you get the full structure. Because I had a kid one time that did this like really fast practice, and then he got into tournament. He was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I just want to go up and hit it. And I was like, I thought I explained you should do some slow practice, but he was like, no, it's 3-putting all over. So, so
Have
yeah,
you heard, has he told you this, Justin, this concept?
I saw your guys' video on it and I thought, I understand it. I think it's great. Luke, are your best golf lessons, swing lessons? You know how TrackMan has the shot counter on the left?
yeah.
Dude, my best lessons are like when I look up and we're almost done with the lesson, and it's like ball 29 or 30. Like we have not hit that many balls.
Well, I have
So
lessons where guys won't hit more than 8 balls. Like I have so
yeah.
many
So
balls, hour-long
and
lessons,
then
more than
I'm
8 balls.
not gonna throw anyone under the bus, but in the last 12 months, I had a lesson and I looked up and we were 45 minutes in and it was on ball 122. How do you think that lesson went? That
Yeah,
guy didn't he was sweating profusely.
yeah.
There was no learning taking place. There
Well,
was a great exercise. His heart rate was up, but he didn't get any better. And I was ashamed. I was like, look, I should have just taken the golf ball away, but he wouldn't let me. I was afraid if I put my foot there, he would hit my foot. So I would try to get him to stop and look at the video. Trackman was still tracking one ball while the other ball was taking
wow.
off. It didn't know what to do.
Well, this goes
So
right into I was teaching a little junior golf. And so you know how we're wired from an early age. What is our feedback when we're playing golf? It is the golf ball. And we
yeah,
judge
good shot, bad shot.
based on a solid shot, right? So this guy has never decoupled learning a movement pattern from hitting a solid shot, and he's
Yes.
just chasing impact. And that is a very good way to have really terrible mechanics all the time.
Were you watching that lesson?
We've had them.
Yeah, but okay, I'm gonna push back here. But you guys just said like the easiest lessons are the one where you just fix a bias of like getting someone to hit it off the center instead of the toe or something.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's so many different types of lessons. Like, are you trying to change a motor pattern that's deeply seated? You're hitting 29 balls or less. You're changing patterns. You're getting that work done. You're getting the foam balls out, and you're going to change that pattern. And within a week, the person should be able to put a swing on video with a foam ball that looks really good. That's usually how it goes. And then if you're trying to work on like getting better calibration, so you got to play tomorrow, you better take care of your toe strike and your heel strike. And that should almost always be the first work, don't you think?
Oh yeah, for sure. And those lessons I will push back. Those lessons we hit probably more balls when
Yep.
we're
Should hit.
eliminating a bias because I
Yep.
don't really. It's kind of like one feedback loop. It's like we're not worried about where your
No,
elbow was or your rotation. It's like, did you hit the toe? Yeah. Okay. Good job. Do it again.
we isolate variables. We'd put a 7-iron on a tee for 40 minutes, and you would teach the person how to hit the toe and the heel, and then, oh, let's work a little low point on the ground. Like, that's how you get better if you have a bias problem. And those are easy, but you need to hit a lot of balls.
How do you decide which one you're doing? If it's the first the bias lesson or the movement pattern
First thing
lesson?
you do is you watch him hit a bunch of 7-irons, and you see, do you have a bias problem? And Justin and I can tell within three swings. You can tell if they're hitting the toe or the heel a lot. You can tell if the face is open. Sometimes they're just shut as shit. You know it's going left. But you can see the pattern within 10 balls, and you can pretty much tell what's going on. And then you decide if you want to clean up bias or you want to go deeper.
And that depends on the type of player that I think is in front of you. Like
Yep.
I give plenty of lessons where people just got a tournament tomorrow that they want to play better in, and we better make sure contact and face and path are really good.
Yeah. Like, let's say you got somebody coming in, and this is like, you got someone in, they're playing in a tournament tomorrow. They're super steep. They're literally regripping the golf club at the top. You let it ride.
You have to. I mean,
Let it ride.
I do spell this out for people. So I'll be like, look, this is really bad. Like
Yeah.
this club should be here. Look at your pelvis turn is 21 degrees at the top of your backswing. Your swing plane is 71 degrees with a 7. Like I'll tell it, your swing direction's 14 left. This is really bad.
Yeah.
But anything we tell you to do is going to be so difficult today for you to do tomorrow. Let's do this. Let's aim a little right. Let's close your face. Let's hit the middle. And then you can go play to your handicap or slightly better tomorrow. But I also want you to know you don't have to be this 22 handicap forever. I want you to know we can get this club in a better spot. You can swing more from the inside. You can do this stuff. I will usually at least inform them about that because I want them to be able to make the choice and know what their options are.
I totally agree. And I explain this concept, and I think you use it. Maybe you don't name it, but I say, so if you're going to do a deep mechanical rebuild, which more golfers should do, you're going to get worse. That's the J curve. And then you're going to get better. But you don't have to use that and play bad if you just use a firewall and say, I'm not using it on the golf course. So I can have two golf swings. I have my old crummy swing, and I have my new swing I'm building. And I can have one I'm building, and I can use the other one to play golf and have still have fun. Do you do that with people, Justin?
So not as much as you do. I probably haven't done that in a couple years, honestly. But personally, when I'm making a swing video for Instagram tip, it looks way different than my on course swing, and that's the swing I'm building towards. So you could say I execute a form of that. Anyway,
Yeah. So why
honestly, I could,
don't
but
you
I
do?
don't tell people that they have to change the pattern and never use it because I don't have people that practice enough.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, it depends on the person, right? You have to. To me,
Yeah.
it's all about the sell, and but you have to deal with the person in front of you. And if you know they're not going to practice and they don't want that, you don't even give it to them.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to end this chat by returning to our 0 degree conversation. So where did we end that? So we can
I don't
someone
know.
that has a zero path is fine. Is that is that our
Zero.
I think it's from a physics, it's great.
Zero is
It's
just
depending, like if you love the psyche side of the player, I think I think 4 is great because then you have more usable face angles. But
no.
physics,
I don't.
distributions,
Why stop at 4? Because if you are a 25 handicap, does 4 get you there? Do you eliminate a double cross? Nope.
no, not at all.
If you're
Not at all.
25, you need to go to 11.
Right. Agreed, you do.
What's my
But at
point?
4, I think is when the ball speed drops significantly, or that's the number again, this was a really smart coach I was listening to, and this is how he was explaining it. I haven't landed on my opinion yet. If I have to land on an opinion and pick one today, because I like to think that physics and science will always win, I would say 0 is fine.
Can I just say the double cross should be a dead term? It's a bad term in golf. It's all about, did I miss my target face by X?
Yeah,
If you put on your meta goggles and turn this way, it's all about face angle. It's all about spin azimuth relative to your goal and your face angle goal. It is not about double cross. It's how much did I miss my face by? That's the name of the game.
true.
Yeah, but a double cross is just a big miss.
It's
If you
big
just
miss.
remove the
I
word.
thought it was a ball that curved the opposite direction of what you wanted.
Yeah. And so you can be positive 0.5 with your pass and you will double cross it all day and you could shoot 10 under par.
What is if 0 is okay? What are the other extremes? Is it 4 either way for path that
I
it's still
wouldn't go
fine?
past. I think you start losing a lot of ball speed past.
There's
4.
almost no pros more than 4. And the ones that might be more than 4, it's driver and they're cutting it a bunch and they have a lot of speed. That's only guys more than 4.
Got it.
And nobody's drawing it more than about 3 or 4. I guess Kenny Perry back in the day maybe was 4 or something. Rory, when he got on tour, was drawing it a little bit. But you don't see a lot of curve out there.
Gentlemen, this was fun. We got to get you guys back out to your lessons. Justin, I can tell, is getting antsy.
No, I'm good. I'm just excited to hear you talk more.
I don't think we disagreed that much. I just felt like we kind of tried to wax through some different sides of the issues.
Yeah, did we disagree on anything?
We don't have to disagree.
We don't have to.
We
We
just
also
chat.
don't have the answers to everything, but we can talk through them.
No, I want to see if anybody has like distribution curve analysis of Tour Pro data from TrackMan. Ideally, in a tournament would be amazing, but more importantly, even on the range, like is it bimodal or is it unimodal? Because if
I
it's
want to know on a dead straight par 4 with nothing around what the average swing direction with a driver is at the TPC Houston Open. I want to see that. I want to see wide open. What's everyone's path when they're just going at it?
So like
Swing
a par
direction
5,
and
a
path.
straight ahead par 5 with no
Par 5,
dog
no
leg.
trouble anywhere. Everyone's just
Yeah.
sending it. It's like when all the new drivers come out for the year and it's right before they play in Texas when it's 90 degrees and wide open. So everyone can say, look at the 198 ball speed on the new whatever driver.
Wait, why is that interesting? Why you just want to know what path?
Because I want to know the same thing as Luke. I want to know if their path is about 0 when they're just sending it. Stock driver, no need to curve it. What is a stock tee shot path?
Well, I mean, it'd be what it is on the range, right? So I mean, just look at the range
I think
data.
there's guys that
I
have
don't know.
extra gear to like tee it higher and probably move the path a little more, swing direction a little more right, hit up on a little bit more. I think there's more of that when it's wide open, but they don't vary driver that much, nor should
Right.
they overall. They should all have a
Right.
cut when they need it, but mostly it's stock and fade more. Do you guys agree? Sorry, we're
Yep.
trying to shut it down. Corey's like, I'm done.
Gordon's done talking, so I guess
No,
we'll agree on that.
here's anecdotal. Okay, this is the one thing that I want to get Luke. I should have pushed back for you on this. When we were if you watch tour pros hit balls, a lot of guys hit draws.
Yep.
I would say it's 50-50, if not more people hit draws.
Oh, you think so with driver even?
I've seen there's a lot of guys that draw the driver.
Yeah.
And I know, and it's been preached by you and hit fade with the driver. It's easier. It's what they're built to do. And you hear from club manufacturers too, but why do so many pros hit draws with driver then?
I'm a little bit out there, as you guys know, but I think people should be playing the ball more forward in their stance with driver, which does what? It allows them to
exact angle and path
without having to tilt back and hurt their back. And I think a lot of guys on tour struggle with back problems. I see so many college players. What happens if you move driver a lot more forward in your stance? Your swing direction goes left.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to hit
angle goes up.
Attack angle is still reasonable. So I think people should play driver more forward and hit more cuts. And I think overall face control can be pretty good with that.
Yeah, but a lot of guys hit draws.
I agree.
What do you do with the Aaron Rye thing where he puts it the middle of his stance then? Do you see his face
I mean,
on
I love
video?
it. If you can release it early enough, you can do that, right? But I just see a lot of like junior golfers like hanging back and they're like trying to get the ball in the
He
air.
releases it early because that trail elbow, but ugh,
Yeah, a lot of
he does-
internal really.
he's really
Yeah,
good though.
I
but the
like it.
junior golf thing is because none of us were strong enough and the clubs
Mhm.
are too heavy and we're trying to hit it as far as we possibly could, right? Like, so it's all just the
Well,
nature of the
I
environment.
I'm gonna say it's and to me the new generation of coaching is going to be earlier vertical and earlier release so that you don't have to tilt back as much.
I I think that's great, but I just go back to as kids, none of us are strong enough,
Oh, I
right?
agree.
Like,
Kids are going to do what they're going to do. 13 to 18 is when you should get them more leveled out, and you should probably get that early vertical and get the thing releasing earlier.
and you think that's possible to change
Absolutely.
kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree. Going back to like the draw thing, there's plenty of guys that hit draws, and I think you can be pretty good with it. I also think if you hit a draw off the tee with driver, then you can also fade it pretty easily just with setup, but it does not work in reverse. So if your stock shot is a fade, you are not going to be very good with a draw because of the floor effect. You don't have enough loft to keep it in the air, right? This is one thing I think Foss and I might agree on. But he doesn't think you should be able to draw and fade a driver. I think if your stock is a draw, you can fade it and it's really a setup. It's not hard. What do you think?
I don't think there are too many guys drawing and fading. Although anecdotally, you hear a lot of guys say that they work on that, and they are doing that.
I
I
mean, when
agree completely that if you draw or if you fade driver consistently and you get fit to a driver that spins 2200 on your stock fade driver shot and then you try to turn one,
yeah,
it could dive bomb out of the air so fast.
yeah.
And that's that floor effect. So yeah, I think I'm in agreement with that. I haven't been to enough tour events to know what guys like how do you know, Cordy, that people hit so many draws
Just
with the
watching.
draw?
You just watch them.
Well, that's your evidence.
That is my evidence. There's also a bunch of stuff done. Hold on, didn't
Um,
Lukey posted
when,
this of
when
everyone that
I
hits draws
when
and
I
fades?
dug into it, I found that the average path on tour was like 1.2 left with drivers. What I thought I saw. I think I got it from Data Golf. And I think it was 1.2. And then I think irons are a lot more neutral. They're a lot closer to 0. I thought it was more unimodal. I think that's where I got the information from. So somebody can totally tell me I'm wrong, and I could be, but I think that's where it was.
I never question my data source, Justin. How dare you? First of all,
I watch them, he says.
secondly, there also was something that had it all in detail on who draws and fades. I just can't find it right now.
So
Also, I walk the range and watch them.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. I thought I saw you at like the PGA Championship or
Yeah.
something. Yeah,
Well,
and I just
yeah.
wondered.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you go and you watch guys hit balls, you will be shocked at how many draws you see when you hear people say you should just hit fade with driver.
what do you think the percentage is? Do you think it's 50-50 on driver? I think irons more guys draw it by a little margin
That I would agree with.
because
That
they keep it
people,
out of the wind a little bit better, and they have enough height to stop it a lot of times. There's a lot of both, but like inside of to me, inside of 170, you see more draws. Outside of 250, you see slightly more fades. That's my guess, but I'm sure there's people that are going to tell me I'm wrong.
okay, we got to figure this out. Maybe it was data golf. I'll follow up with.
I mean, look, I'm not
figuring
saying
this out.
that you're wrong. I'm just saying, like, if we're gonna say no, they draw it. Like, I'm just wondering. Yeah, because I was on 13 in Augusta watching
Hey,
these guys, and everyone was drawing.
This is why I changed the name from Golf Science Lab. Okay, I want to be
You
able to
just
say
try to
whatever
golf
I
them
want to
out.
say.
Yeah, funny.
I don't want this to be science.
It's a variety
So
show now. It's great.
All right. On that note,
we should
On a-
apologize to all the listeners. They stuck around this long.
on the rousing vote of confidence that I just gave there for everybody.
Are you going to get to see when people drop the podcast? Because
Yeah.
that will give us some more information about how we should maybe not talk about these things.
We'll see which
Yep.
topics did best and
Yeah.
adjust going forward.
Sorry, everybody.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.